Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. We are talking about Lilly and Jack Sullivan, who have been missing for over, 3, 4 months now in their Pictou County, Nova Scotia home. There's been a few revelations coming out in the last few days, and we're going to talk about all of that and a whole lot more. Stick around.
Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls. Dropping cold facts, got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is August 28th, 2025. It is currently 6:47 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Maria, thank you so much. Hello, Angel. Good to see you. Wild Angel, good to see you. Maria, Heather, Robin, Teresa, Catherine, Sarah, Sherry, Ruby, Leslie, Grace, me and you, Linda, Pauline, good to see you. Progressively, Sheila, Mary, Pam, Susan, Shelby, um, Jean Size, sorry, Martinez, hello, Jam, Lil Red, Catherine, Kim, Crazy, Cece, Wendy, Tina, Grace, Robin, Susan, Sassy, Trish, This The Way, hello, Mama Dukes, Sherry, Pam, Grace, good to see you all. Robin Hatters, everyone, good to see you early, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hopefully, you guys are well out there in YouTube land, wherever you are. Thank you so much, Miss Sharon. You are an OG from 11 Hats. Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you. Really do appreciate you very, very much. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you, Dean White. Happy anniversary, Rose. Is it Rose's anniversary? Happy anniversary, Rose. Thank you so much. Meticulous research. Thank you so much, Michael. Appreciate you. Happy anniversary. And thank you so much, Dean White. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Yeah, lots to talk about in Lilly and Jack Sullivan case. I'll be honest with you guys. I was a little discouraged the other day whenever I was reading the expose article, if you will, them claiming that they were not considering it a criminal case since July 16th. And I just was like, you are fucking kidding me. You know, they just don't want to give answers any place. And they don't want to say, they're like, well, they're not in that area. Well, claiming that Daniel and them passed a polygraph, but even though they're fucking liars out their ass, they lie. And it's like, how can you pass a polygraph if you lie? You know what I mean? It's like recently I have just had little faith uh in polygraphs and search, like these sin dogs, at all. And so we're going to talk about a lot of that today. Oh, hey, Pauline. Good to see you. Love to you, Justin and Pearl family from London, UK. Hello, Pauline. Thank you so much for your support. Next time I'm in London, we'll have to do tea. Next time I'm in London. It's been a while. Yeah, I know, Suzanne. I know. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, we are all disappointed, but they're not going to stop until justice prevails. No, we can't let this stop. We can't let Jack and Lilly go to the wayside and just let the RCMP just give up on it, right? Like, we must demand answers from them. The article says truthful for 4 questions. That doesn't make sense to me. I didn't see that article, Tammy. The article I saw, it says they didn't give specific questions out, but we'll see. They wouldn't share what the questions were. Hey, Esther, good to see you, baby. Thank you. Bonjour. Definitely pray for justice for Lily and Jack. We sure do, honey. We sure do. Yeah. Something's wrong in the case, in my opinion. Too many unanswered questions. Yeah. Not to mention, it's 2 kids at the exact same time. Obviously, this is a criminal case. Fuck yeah, it's a criminal case, in my opinion. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, easily provable lies Daniel has spoken. Easily. And they're like, I don't know. I don't get it. Hey, Gia. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you very much. I like. Let's add another 544. Thank you so much. We appreciate you very, very much. I swear everything in Canada is not criminal unless you set bouncy castles in Ottawa. Yes, it was a thing. Really? Really? You're being serious? Wow. Thank you, Lori. Appreciate you. All right. So, first I want to get off to our friend, the big DD, Deception Detective. He did a really good video and I wanted to share it. And I'm sure most of you are subbed up to Deception Detective. If not, link will be provided in the description and in the chat. Deception Detective, he is really great at statement analysis. one of my favorites on here on YouTube, and he's easy on the eyes. Just saying, he's easy on the eyes. So we like to look at him too, just to be honest. So we're going to, he is talking about Janie here a lot. I think, but we're going to be focusing on some Janie today because this little lie detector test that they asked her to take one, right? And what was, one second, how did they word the article? Let me see how they worded this article here. I was like, the fuck? They worded it very, just remember what they said. Does anyone remember what they said? Not that she wasn't like a candidate for it, but it was something else. Let me find it, because if not, it's going to irritate me. No, it wasn't inconclusive either. Let me just. In calls at the moment. Okay. It says the following. Physiology was not suitable for analysis. And so the polygraphs measure a physiological, am I saying that right? Signals like heart rate, blood pressure, respiratory, we know all that, and sweat. For a test to be analyzed, those readings need to show clear, stable patterns. If the examiner writes physiology was not suitable for analysis, it usually means one of the following. Signals were too flat or erratic. The sensor couldn't pick up consistent reaction. Excessive movement or irregular breathing made the data unreadable. Medical or psychological factors, things like anxiety disorders, medication, heart conditions, or even dehydration can interfere with results. The subject couldn't regulate their physiology, for instance, hyperventilating, high anxiety, or intentionally trying to manipulate the test. And then it says, oh, here's a new article. I didn't see this. Ooh, I've not read this one. I'm going to share this right here. We'll look at this right now because it talks about Janie. Miss Kelsey, if being fabulous was a crime, you'd be serving life without parole. You're so funny, Kels. Thank you so much, darling. Appreciate you very, very much. You're so funny. Thank you, my dear. That's so sweet. Thank you, babies. Appreciate you. I don't know. I was going to say guilty, but I don't want to say I'm fabulous because that would be a little arrogant or something. So I don't want to say that. But thank you. Janie meant the children never said anything again. Okay, let me look at this article right here. Getting a little sidetracked, but I want to see this. Police documents provide details on Nova Scotia missing children's case. Okay, let's see if it'll do this. Guys, do me a favor, please hit that thumbs up.
Documents are revealing previously unreported details of the investigation into the disappearance of 2 young children from their home in rural northeastern Nova Scotia more than 3 months ago. Included in several documents are the initial impressions by police of polygraphs given to the parents of 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan, and confirmation that investigators found a second piece of a pink blanket they say belonged to Lilly in the trash.
We're going to get to the blanket.
The information is contained in court applications filed by investigators for permission to conduct searches for phone records, banking records, and video related to the case. The documents include unproven statements made by police. Those documents were released to the Canadian press and other news outlets. Many of them contain redactions. According to one document, sworn by Corporal Charlene Jordan Curl of the RCMP's Northeast Nova Scotia Major Crime Unit, the children were first reported missing on 10:01 a.m. on May 2 from their home in rural Lansdowne Station, NS, by their mother Malia Brooks Murray. Brooks Murray told police she believed the two children had wandered away from home, but the exact time she said she thought they went missing was redacted. Police were on the scene at 10:27 a.m. The document says the last time the children were seen outside their home was on May 1, when they were captured by video surveillance at a local Dollarama store with Brooks Murray and Daniel Martel, their stepfather. RCMP conducted at least a half-dozen polygraphs during their investigation. The first two were on May 12 with the children's parents at the detachment at Bible Hill. NS Martel's polygraph indicated he was truthful, as did the test for Brooks Murray that found she was truthful when answering specific questions, although the list of questions is redacted in the document. An unidentified investigator's comment included at the end of a section on the results of both of those polygraphs says, "At this point in the investigation, Jack and Lily's disappearance is not believed to be criminal in nature.
Fuck
I do
that.
not have reasonable grounds to believe a criminal offense has occurred. Because Jack and Lilly are still missing, polygraph examinations were conducted with the intention of ruling out that possibility." Martel told the Canadian press on May 28 that he had passed a polygraph test, but the RCMP declined at the time to confirm or deny his claim. Results from polygraphs, which measure fluctuations within a person's sympathetic nervous system as they answer questions, are not admissible in Canadian courts, but the machines are considered an investigative tool. Meanwhile, on June 10, the children's step-grandmother, Janie Mackenzie, underwent a polygraph examination, but another document notes that her physiology was not suitable for analysis and an opinion on the polygraph examination was not rendered. The children's biological father, Cody Sullivan, underwent a polygraph on June 12, 2025, and passed the examination, with his answers found to be truthful. On July 2, Cindy Murray, Brooks Murray's mother, and Cindy Murray's boyfriend, identified as Wade Paris, also underwent polygraph examinations and both passed, according to the court documents. In July, the Mounties said they were running forensic tests on a pink blanket found during the search of the heavily wooded areas near the children's home. Police said at the time that the family had confirmed the blanket belonged to Lilly, but investigators released few details. The newly released documents shed more light on that part of the investigation, saying 3 family members found the blanket in a tree on Lansdowne Station Road on May 2, exactly 1 kilometer from the family home. A photo was shown to the mother and stepfather who confirmed it was Lily's. Later, police dispatched.
Okay. So there's that. All right. It's time to protest. Well, yeah. Probably, yeah, you're right. You're not wrong. Something's got to be done. Something's got to be done. These two morons cannot get away with this. They just cannot get away with this. It's getting ridiculous. All right, so we're going to go to the deception detective, and he does a very good video on this. And I want to talk about it before we get into the weeds of all of this, because there's going to get a little deep today.
Case dragged on, he knew he had to do something to keep their story at the forefront of the news cycle.
I approached Advocate Printing and said that we wanted a deal on making up some election style signs, and we went from there.
Over the last week, his advocacy group has been fulfilling sign orders, with all proceeds going towards search and rescue and funding more awareness materials. Some of the children's family members have ordered signs for their yards as well.
The fact that Lily and Jack's family is being less proactive than a random neighbor concerns me, but that's nothing compared to the allegations of substance abuse, domestic violence, child neglect, and CPS visits. So in today's video, let's continue unpacking the Globe and Mail's bombshell investigation into the family and counting the red flags. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel
We're gonna
exposes
talk about
lies and
that
manipulation. So if
specific
that's your
part,
thing, hit
Gairloch.
subscribe. For exclusive videos, early access to new videos, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. If you missed my last two videos, there are linked below because this is actually my third video on the Globe and Mail expose. So there's just one quick thing I want to show you before we dive back in, and it's the rest of that news report, because I think the media is also starting to lose patience with this investigation.
Nearly 4 months ago, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, ages 6 and 4, went missing from their home in Lansdowne Station. In a statement to Global News Thursday, RCMP say intensive investigative work is ongoing in relation to the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, and tips continue to be received. We now have over 700 and are evaluated and prioritized by a dedicated team of investigators in the Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit with the assistance of agencies from across Canada.
We've had this in the past, different disaster, the Westray disaster, and everybody descended on us there, and that's not something we want. But in this case, when two little ones go missing, everybody is really keen on finding those children so they can get them home safe and sound.
Kent Corbett's family has lived in Pictou County for generations. As Lilly and Jack's case dragged on, he knew he had to do something to keep their story at the forefront of the news cycle.
The more people that are thinking about these kids every day will be the greater chance that we have to be able to bring them home.
Lilly
That's
and
right.
Jack attended Salt
That's right.
Springs Elementary. As the new school year approaches, their school district says, "We have school psychologists, counselors, and regional support staff ready to help any students who are finding it challenging to be back on site at the school without the presence of their
best.
peers."
Did the book of Revelation predict our world
Oh,
today?
one second. Why do I got a commercial? Oh, I got it on the
Kids
wrong
get back
one.
in the classroom to their teacher. It's going to be, did anybody find Jack and Lily? Kids that age aren't going to understand that the adults are doing everything they can. I wouldn't want to be that teacher having to explain that.
Let me
Corbett
fast
says
forward
the community is
this.
still holding on to hope.
And I even agree that they're Pictou County's children now, because their actual parents don't seem to be doing anything to claim them. Now let's get back into the Globe and Mail expose and pick up where we left off. Just like parts 1 and 2, I'm using AI to read out the relevant parts of it to us so we can react and
Hello, Miss Dirty Diana. I text you. Hey, Justin, Remy, and chat. How are you all? Thank you for reaching out to me. I hope you're doing. Thank you so much, my dear. Good to see you, Miss Dirty Diana. Hope you're well. Thank you, love.
real time.
I never thought they would run off on me like that, she wrote. I'm so distraught. Hours later, and still no sign of the children, Malaya floated the idea that Jack and Lily were abducted. Many are suspecting they were picked up by somebody, she texted Belinda.
Listen to
Because
this.
there is no trace of them or Lily's backpack. In the mid-afternoon,
I mean, think about this. By the time, Belinda was speaking to Malaya, she was already floating the fact that Jack and Lily must have been picked up. Must have been picked up, right? That soon. They kept pressing. Someone must have taken them. They're not in these woods. They're not in these woods, right? But Deception Detective talks really good up
a
here.
non-encrypted radio channel crackled with voices of emergency responders. Families brought us to a location not far away. There's a piece of a blanket which the mother says she believes belongs to her daughter, radioed an official. Emergency responders dispatched a canine unit to the site, where they seized Lily's pink blanket, torn and wound
Listen.
around the lower branches of a spruce.
Listen.
It was about a kilometre from the mobile home. When a police officer asked Daniel about the pink blanket, he said it wasn't Lily's at first.
Lily and Jack's parents come.
Okay. Did y'all hear that? When a police officer asked Daniel about a pink blanket, he said it wasn't Lily's at first. This is the only lie Daniel has admitted to that I'm aware of, that he said he was scared, right? Remember him saying that he was scared. Why would you be scared? Who is going to be scared if you find something of your missing children's? That's going to bring you hope that you're on the right track, right? You're going, okay, oh my God, we found something of theirs. Good. So they've had to have been in this area, right? Now, you might be scared if, I don't know, you were planting fucking evidence, right, Daniel? But I digress.
Pink blanket. He said it wasn't Lily's at first.
Lily and Jack's parents contradicted each other about whether or not the pink blanket found in the woods actually belonged to Lily, and that concerns me. Any reasonable person would have understood just how important accuracy is in that sort of situation. If it doesn't belong to Lily and you say it does, you might have just allocated all the police's resources to a red herring. And if it does belong to Lily and you say it doesn't, you might have just cost your kid their best chance of getting discovered within the first 48 hours. So the
Bingo.
contradiction at a minimum suggests that at least
Exactly. So why would you say no, it's not hers? That means you wouldn't want her found, right? If that was really Lily's and you would say no, what the hell? Why would you say that? That makes no sense. You're going to say no, that's not Lily blanket? But you're looking for her, right? Not good, Daniel. Not good. And this is my point. How the hell can they say Daniel's not lying? I don't get it. Don't get it. How could he even lie? Well, why? Why would a man lie about finding his stepkids?
one of them is being flippant with the facts. But at the worst, it might suggest that they're both hoaxers and they didn't have an opportunity to script their answers to this one question because it was unanticipated. Maybe the blanket didn't belong to Lily, but Malaya, being an opportunist, understood how good it would be to say that it was because it would send the police down the wrong path. Meanwhile, Daniel, without an opportunity to script his answer with Malaya, said it wasn't, or vice versa. The blanket actually was Lily's, and Malaya understood that the police could eventually determine that, so she might as well just own up to it now. And Daniel decided to say it wasn't. Whatever the case, the parents of missing children contradicting each other about one of the only pieces of physical evidence that might suggest where their kid is a giant red flag. But believe it or not, it's not even the biggest red flag in this part of the expose. Let's keep listening.
Police began pounding on doors into the early hours of the next morning. They came to the door of Daniel's father, Earl Martell, a retired tire plant worker who lives atop a hill in a bungalow he built himself 40 years ago. Officers peered with flashlights into the corners of his living room, jumbled with the craft supplies and Hot Wheels of Daniel's 2 school-aged biological children who often visit on weekends. Earl guided police into the yard, to old campers and a derelict log cabin filled with junk, and to Daniel's older model black sedan in need of repairs he couldn't afford. Police also banged on the door of the home of the children's paternal grandmother, Belinda, in Middle Muscadobit, about half an hour from Lansdowne. They were looking to talk to her son, who had been living there for the last 9 months after losing his roofing job. But Cody Sullivan hadn't seen Jack and Lily since he and Malaya separated 3 years ago. He'd cut ties after she filed for full custody of...
Right. No calling Jack and Lily's biological dad and saying, or Belinda saying, have you seen Jack or Lily? I mean, if you know anything? They're missing. What's going on?
The children. Through the night, search and rescue volunteers combed the woods, and helicopters and drones that can detect body heat scanned overhead.
They didn't find a damn thing.
Malia was up too, texting with Belinda.
Listen.
I have reason to believe they may have been taken by someone.
I have reason to believe they have been taken by someone, Malaya says to Miss Belinda. Oh, interesting. Very interesting. What is that reason? What was that reason, Miss Malaya? Why are all of you trying to pawn the kids off that somebody took them? Malaya saying, I have reason to believe someone took them. Daniel was putting it out there. And Janie, that Malaya allegedly put the kids off into a car. Why are they doing this?
She wrote, they should have found them by now if they were in the woods. The next
think.
morning, Belinda set out to help search for her grandchildren. Over the last 2 years, Malia had distanced herself from Belinda. She stopped bringing the children to visit, later explaining that Daniel was jealous and didn't want her going there or giving out the address.
I believe that.
The grandmother said she had never been invited to the house. Wow, she says she thought, as she stepped inside to speak to Malaya. Everything she saw, from the junk-strewn yard to the cluttered kitchen, was the total opposite of the neat and tidy woman she used to know.
Those days
What happened? She asked.
Hey, baby.
Malaya opened the low, rumbling, sliding patio door in the kitchen, demonstrating how she assumed the children quietly left the home while she and Daniel were sleeping.
They quietly left the home. Now remember, quote, no more than 20 minutes, Daniel and Malaya said. No more than 20 minutes. And that means 20 minutes from the last time they heard them in the home. Remember, they would have had to have gotten their backpacks, their shoes on, their boots on, all of that. And they would have had to have played outside during that time. Right? So getting their backpacks, their boots on, them playing in the house, we'll say a couple minutes before they decide to allegedly get their boots on and all this, and then play outside. Let's give it 10 minutes. They couldn't have been more than 10 minutes ahead, like leaving the yard, so to speak, which, in my opinion, this is all false. Their entire story is false, but just going over what they said, they couldn't have been more than 10 minutes ahead. How far does a 4 and a 6-year-old get in 10 minutes in Pictou County, Nova Scotia? I submit not very far, right? Not very far.
Well, Malaya, Belinda recalled saying, you're the mum.
Dear Dr. Ng, my missing teeth isolated me from the world.
One second, let me turn it on so we don't get any more commercials on my...
As Lily and Jack's case
and a derelict's jealous and didn't... Dear.
Let's recap the cast of characters because...
Their interest. What direction would they go? Y'all were sleeping. Well, Malaya, Belinda recalled saying, you're the mum. You know these kids better than anybody. So where do you feel they'd go? What would take their interest? What direction would they go? She had no idea.
Let's recap the cast of characters.
A mother may never... It's not a normal for a mother not to, be up in arms, so to speak. but she may not have an idea, but she will certainly, a mother panicking will give you suggestions, right? They will pull ideas. You start thinking really fucking quick whenever your children are missing. Malaya, get with it.
because I think you'll see my point before I even make it. First, we have Daniel, the stepfather, who besides having to take care of Malaya, who's unemployed, has to take care of Jack, Lily, Meadow, and his 2 biological children.
True.
Next, we have Daniel's dad, the step-grandfather, who lives in a bungalow up on a hill near the house where the kids live. Next, we have Belinda Gray, who lives about half an hour away from the house and is Malaya's ex-mother-in-law, and she might have reason to resent Malaya for never inviting her to the house to see her grandkids. And finally, we have Jack and Lily's biological dad, Cody Sullivan, who recently lost his job, had to move back in with his mom half an hour away from where his biological kids, Jack and Lily, live. So what's my point? Well, that's a lot of potential suspects if the kids were actually kidnapped.
Points.
But Malaya somehow has been able to rule out all of them. If you saw my analysis of the first
Right.
part of this article, you'll know that Malaya informed Belinda that the kids were missing. She never asked Belinda if she knew what happened or asked her if Cody was home the night before. She never
None of-
pointed the finger at Earl or Daniel's mother, who lives on the property with them, or even Daniel, who, if Malaya's story is to be believed, she can't alibi. She was apparently in and out of sleep when the kids disappeared. But there is another reason I paused at this point, and that's because Malaya has been insisting that the kids either wandered off or were kidnapped. But when it finally comes time to say what she thinks happened to them, she has no idea. And
Bingo.
that specific answer of a mother of a missing child saying they have no idea is typical of hoaxers, and that's because they don't want.
Yes. Now, like I said, it's very typical of hoaxers, right? Like, you may not. It's still weird that you wouldn't have an idea, but again, even if you don't have an idea, you're going to find some suggestions really quick, really quick. And for her to just be sitting like a bump on a log, remember, she's not, it's like she's just got Meadow on her hip and she's just looking into the air. And you can say, well, that might be shock. Everyone acts differently. All of that. Bullshit. 3/4 of your children are missing. You have one on your arm, right? And your other 2 children, also by another man that is not in the home, okay, is missing. You are going to be panicking. There are no tears from Miss Malaya. None. No panic. No sense of urgency, nothing.
To reveal any information. Mothers of missing children typically have thousands of ideas of where the kid might be. In fact, it's the only thing they can think about. Where might they be? But parents like Malaya and Daniel, Casey Anthony, William Turrell's foster parents, Jen Soto, Stephen Stearns, Summer Wells' parents, Madeline McCann's parents, Sebastian Rogers' parents, they have no idea. And finally, what do you make?
Yep. Notice all of these cases that deception detective just mentioned right there. Well, where do you think they could have gone? I have no idea. Or hoaxers will be very specific about generally very convenient places that would benefit them to perhaps make them appear innocent as well. We hope
Make of Malaya's story that the glass door was so quiet that it didn't wake her or Daniel up when the kids opened it to sneak out and then closed it behind themselves. Well, I'll play you the exact sound it makes when it's open and closed in a moment. But first, just remember that we have other senses besides hearing. Patio doors can rumble the thin walls in a trailer so that people...
She looks like a junkyard bulldog right here. She really does. Miss Junkyard Janie. Well, noisy or not, listen. Daniel and Malaya could have heard the kids outside. Listen, if Janie could hear them outside, you can hear them out. You can hear people outside in your brick home. So I know you can hear those kids outside, especially Lilly. So it's like, oh, well, they opened this up so quietly. And we just did not hear them outside. Your bedroom is on the other side of the trailer, right there. They were playing all of that. Actually, I just heard something outside my window right now. That's very interesting.
People feel vibrations. The suction of the opening and closing can be felt in the air pressure, not to mention all the sounds of the outdoors when the door is opened, which gets silenced when it gets closed again. All right, let's listen. And this clip is from my video analyzed.
Yeah. What do you do when you open up the door, right? You can hear better. And then when you close the door, you close a window, you hear the sounds outside. It's muffled, right? None of that.
Janie McKenzie, Daniel's mom, who lives on the property.
We've heard a lot about the patio door.
Okay.
Yeah, so let's go see that.
Sure.
So this is the patio
This is the patio door
that Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily came out of.
She had to think on that one, didn't she?
And so tell us why we've heard about the patio door.
Because everybody's saying on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok that the patio door makes a noise, and why they didn't hear the door open.
Listen, for that to be your excuse, that you didn't hear the kids, and the reason they got out is because the door is quiet, it first of all is a pretty crappy excuse to begin with, right? I mean, who would ever think that a 4 and a 6-year-old, that there isn't locks on the door and nobody is paying any attention? Mom hasn't seen the children for, at this time, upwards to 10, 12 hours, and doesn't get up off her ass long enough to check on them or make them breakfast. Neither does Daniel. Who would think that, these two children would actually walk out of the home when there's no lock on it, there's no the safety mechanisms put in place? It has nothing. It's just a convenient story for them to make up. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less.
The bedroom is back there. Okay?
That far window.
The last window is the bedroom.
You know what? You should have done, Janie, to prove your point? You should have invited old girl doing the interview there, and you should have allowed her to go to Daniel and Malaya's bedroom, well, just now Daniel's and his new girlfriend, I guess, bedroom, and you should have closed the door, see if she could hear it in the back, and more importantly, you should have went outside to where the playground, the little swing set is, and started talking about how a child would speak and walk around in that yard and talk and see if you could hear it, if she could, the interviewer could hear it. That would have been more of a better study, in my opinion. But that's just me. That would be what would make sense. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The reason people talk about how much noise that sliding glass door makes is because Malaya Brooks Murray, Lily and Jack's mom, used it as part of her alibi. According to her, it's completely silent, which is why she didn't recognize that her toddlers, Lily and Jack Sullivan, had wandered off outside on their own. So the fact that it does make a noise pokes yet another hole in her story. But her story is already a slice of Swiss cheese, so it's not that interesting. What's more interesting is Janie's reaction. I would have expected a truly innocent person to be at least a little bit suspicious about that. Malaya's entire alibi hinges on whether or not that door makes noise. Come to think of it, I haven't even seen Janie comment on the fact that Malaya doesn't live on that property anymore. Right after the kids went missing, she did one interview and then disappeared. One obvious explanation for why Janie isn't curious or suspicious about any of this is because she actually knows what happened. Whether she was filled in by Malaya and her son Daniel to help in the cover-up, or was involved right from the beginning. But even more telling than the things that Janie seems to deliberately ignore, like the sound we all just heard, are the things she seems to deliberately address. You can watch the rest of that video in my Lily and Jack playlist, which I'll put on the end card. We still have plenty more to break down in this expose, so if you want to do it.
All right, so there we have that. Now, I want to get to a few things here. Give me 2 seconds. The documents were... All right. So moving on here, I want to get to old junkyard Janie. She, by the way, someone sent me a video. I think it was today or maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember. And Miss Belinda, God bless her, she was speaking here on It's a Criming Shame. Link is provided in the description. Oops, oh, not download. Shit, sorry. I'm going to drop the link here. But Miss Belinda talks about what happens that day. Now, it seems like that Justin's girlfriend or ex-wife or whoever it was there that day as well. Daniel and Malaya, where's Jack and Lily, asking for the world. I hope they're watching them closely. But listen
the trailer.
To this.
That was the only thing.
Hold on, listen to this right here.
30. But she said she didn't see them.
Listen to this.
She seen them, and she said she never asked. And she said yes, and she opened and closed them to show me how quiet they were, which I did find a little strange.
Remember, Malaya is opening this door.
I asked her around what time she seen them, and she said she never seen them since Thursday night when she put them to bed.
She told Belinda flat out, I have not seen the kids since they were put to bed. Now, I thought Lily kept coming in and out of the bedroom. You mean you didn't even glance at Lily, Miss Malaya? You didn't even glance? Because you said you was the one awake. Daniel said, and you said Daniel was the one sleeping. Daniel said, I was not asleep. Malaya was asleep. She did according to them. What do you mean, Mama Angie? They told cops they both saw her. Yeah. You did not, like, even glance, get out of here, go play. That's what parents normally do, if they're in their bedroom or whatever. And I mean, not usually at 4 and 6, but, go do something, whatever. You make them breakfast, or you sit them in your room and just say, watch some cartoons. I'm going to lay here. Mm-hmm.
I asked her what time she thought they got up, and she said between 8 and 8:30.
They got up between 8 and 8:30. Now, dispatchers said as well that the last time they seen the kids was 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Now, between 8 a.m. and when you're calling at 10:01 a.m., that's a 2-hour stretch. That's a 2-hour stretch. They're trying to fill it in. She didn't know how her sick baby was. Well, she kept the kids home for 2 days, essentially, right? Thursday, they didn't go to school, and she had marked them absent by 6:15, 6:17 Friday morning, which to me is very freaking early to do that. Listen, they're laying their filthy asses in a bed together. At least they say they are. Laying their asses in a bed together, at 9 o'clock in the morning. That bitch did not get up at 6:15 to say that the kids were not going to be at school when she didn't get up to check on her kids, right? She wouldn't get up to check on her kids or anything else. Not going to happen. They're lazy as hell.
But she said she didn't see them. She heard them out in the other room playing. She never said what room. She just said she heard them out in the room playing.
Heard them.
And she drifted off to sleep.
But she heard them. She heard them, right? Well, that's interesting. I mean, but she's, conveniently, they're all sleeping. Daniel, Malaya, Janie, they're all sleeping at the most particular times, right? The times that actually freaking matter. But she says she hears them. She hears them out there playing. But remember, Daniel said, and when Lilly kept coming in and out of the bedroom or poking her head in and out of the bedroom, be quiet. We don't want you to wake the baby. Not, I didn't want you to wake the baby and Malaya. Just don't want you to wake the baby. Well, you would have absolutely seen the babies, or you would absolutely seen Lilly, Miss Malaya. You would have absolutely seen her. You said you heard them playing out there just a little bit while later. Come on.
And when she woke up again, she didn't hear nothing, and she realized that the place was just too quiet. So they got up and they searched. She said they searched the house, they searched the yard, and then I think she said Daniel went off in the truck to search.
Then Daniel went off in the truck to search.
So I asked her, I said,
what truck are we talking about? Does anyone know what truck? Is there a truck? It's a white truck. Like it's always a truck involved. Now, I've got a picture of, I don't know if it's Daniel's dad's truck, but I think it's a black truck. Don't talk about my truck.
We're here to search. So you know your kids. You're the mom. Moms know their kids. You know what takes their interest, where they like to go around the yard, where you have to get after them all the time. And she said they always like to play up by their fort.
Thank you so much, my dear Crazy Buck. Remy, or sorry, I was reading something. I was reading Dirty Diana, sorry. Remember Danny saying he heard those doors open. Oh yeah, I've got him. Yeah, I've got the article on it. Sure do. Absolutely. Yes. Yep. He heard the doors open and he went to go outside to check on them, and then they were gone.
So I told her we would start up there. So we headed out, and that's where we started. I never met Daniel that day. She told me that he was out searching. He's been searching since they've been gone. I did see her mom in the Daniel's mom, sorry. I seen Janie in the driveway. He had another woman with her. I wasn't sure who it was at the time. And I
saw Janie in the driveway, and there was another woman with her at the time. That was Justin's girlfriend, wife, ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, one of the above. Pick one. That's who that was with, allegedly.
I did see Justin outside at the time.
Okay.
I have a question.
Saw Justin.
Go ahead.
For obviously for Belinda, but and I don't know if Sunny is going to talk about this at all, but for me, with Darren's story, with what he says he knows, my question is, you said Malia came across as unemotional and flat, but had all of that just gone down on Friday, and now she's swarmed with police and searchers and everything, did you notice, looking back, any kind of nerves or any kind of angst going on with her or anybody around her that Saturday morning when you showed up?
She was totally, a good way to put it was she looked totally lost. She had Meadow on her hip. She was holding Meadow, and she looked totally lost. Her grandmother was sitting in the living room. As for the people around her, I know when we come into the driveway, Janie was sitting on some kind of a bench thing or something in the driveway, and I can't remember who the woman was beside her. There was a policewoman standing there, and the policewoman was talking to them. We couldn't make out what she was saying until we got up closer.
Yes.
And Janie was really crying a lot, and this woman was saying to her, "It's okay, Mom. They're not blaming you. They just want to look in your trailer. They're not blaming you.
The last thing I would be worried about if a child went missing on my property and the police had just gotten there, hadn't been there long at all, would be they blaming me, right? They're doing an investigation. When they are investigating something, they are not blaming anyone. They are gathering facts. They are gathering evidence. They are looking. This is their collecting phase, right? they're collecting everything that they need. It's not about blaming anyone. After they get all that they need, everything that they've searched, if they have came up with anything, then they will form, based upon evidence, what they came up with. But Janie's just all they're not blaming you, Mom. They're not blaming you, says Justin. Very weird that she is already thinking someone is blaming her.
Just need to make sure that there's nothing in the trailer. And she went on to say that there was nothing in the trailer. She didn't want them around her dog. And the policewoman told her that she was impeding an investigation.
There's nothing in the trailer. Just my dog. His hair is falling out. He's stressed. I don't know what to do. Janie's like, my fucking hair would fall out too, Janie, if I was your dog. Period. My God, my hair's falling out already because I'm dealing with you from 3,000 miles away. Shit. Telling you. Stressed because she's so loud and obnoxious. Yeah. So I wonder about Janie's polygraph. What was it that made it so they couldn't get a baseline on her, or something was off with it, right? Who is Justin? Well, I am Justin, but we're talking about Justin Daniel Martell's brother. His name is Justin too. We all know that Dad has moved on. Any new news on the mom? She has moved on as well. She's got her a place, allegedly now, and she is allegedly dating as well. They don't mess around. They just get right on it. Right? She'll probably end up pregnant again.
And she would have to get a search warrant. And then I thought, well, we'll just continue on into the trailer. That was the only thing I found just a little strange, that I was wondering what that was all about. When I got inside the trailer and after I had hugged Malaya, I mean, I took to crying. Now, I didn't.
I wondered that too. I mean, this baby's what, 18 months old? 18 months old. It seems like she's always... I think she was holding him that long for almost a security blanket, right? Something to do with her hands, so she wouldn't look helpless standing there. That's my opinion, though.
Notice, because I wasn't watching, but my sister stated that she noticed Malaya wasn't crying at all. She didn't have any tears.
There you go.
That she was very non-emotional. That after the hugging, and I stated about the woman outside that was upset, and she told me that was Daniel's mother, and that she was having a hard time, and she said that was Daniel's brother. And I told her I seen the resemblance, so I figured they were related. She did tell me who the other person was, but I can't remember.
That is Justin's girlfriend or whatever she is. Justin, when you have a heart problem, police minimize the questions, usually in Canada. Oh, perfect. The fuck? You have a heart problem? Sorry, I was listening. You have a heart problem, so we can't ask you any questions. You might. That would seem bizarre to me. Thank you. What's up? I feel Janie. Why do I keep calling her Jamie? Is blaming herself as she never called Malaya that kids were in the backyard. I feel Janie knows more and wishes she didn't. Right? Like she wishes I think all of them wish this never happened, right? But here we are. You think they were gone before? Maybe.
And
it wasn't Logan, was it?
I met Logan. I think we were there Saturday. I don't remember Logan Saturday. I seen her in passing, but not to talk to her. I talked to Logan on Monday.
Were you there for the argument? I'm sorry, Sonny. I'm totally taking over. This is my last question.
I was not there for the argument. When
I think Malaya is very immature for her time being. Yes, I agree. So, I mean, she cries about that. What's up? She does. She always cries. She's like, I felt like I should have, told them that they were in the backyard. And the one morning I didn't. Well, I mean, hello, they were supposed to be at school, right? All right, I want you to listen to this for a moment.
To sounds because of the kids yelling, screaming. So yes, my dog is very sensitive to Lily's scream and Jack screaming or talking. They get home at 10:30 that night. Thursday, they were in town.
Sorry.
When they came home,
she says, even Lily and Jack are sensitive to Lily or to the scream of Lily and Jack or talking. And then I was saying that even the dogs gave Lily and Jack hell on there for being kids. It's very sad, but listen to this.
I came out of the trailer. Jack was sitting beside the little playhouse digging worms with Lily. Jack said, Granny, I found a worm. I found a centipede. I said, good boy. You keep looking. I went over and I started raking in front of my RV where I found Malaya standing.
What?
A house digging worms with Lily. Jack said, Granny, I found a worm. I found a centipede. I said, good boy. You keep looking. I went over and I started raking in front of my RV where I found Malaya standing.
I think these are chunks of different messages.
Raking some gravel out of the bank to smooth it out to put in front of my RV where I found Malaya standing. I was raking there some gravel out of the bank to smooth it out to put a swimming pool. That's the only thing I did was break a little. I was raking my RV. Jack said, "Granny, I found a worm. Found a centipede." I said, "Good boy. You keep looking." I went over and I started raking in front of my RV where I found Malaya standing.
When was she raking and found Malaya standing? Malaya was supposedly standing there that morning, not the night before. She's fucked up her story so bad, she doesn't even know what the hell she's talking about. Listen, Angel, am I understanding it wrong?
Found a centipede. I said, "Good boy. You keep looking." I went over and I started raking in front of my RV where I found Malaya standing. I was raking.
That's where it starts. That's where the thing starts. I went over and started raking my yard where I found Malaya standing. I mean, it's not going to be, I went over and found my yard. I went over and started raking my yard. And then where Malaya was standing.
Raking there some gravel out of the bank to smooth it out to put a swimming pool. That's the only thing I did was break.
So the only part of that file. So the only part of that file, for those that disagree, is she's saying, I went to rake the gravel and then where Malaya was standing. Two separate files. Those are two little separate files. I don't think so, in my opinion.
Take a little gravel out of the bank to level it out for a swimming pool. The footprint was found right where I was leveling the ground out for the swimming pool. An investigator came and measured the little footprint to see if it was Jack or Lily's. That's the only footprint that was found. So Friday morning, I get up at 6 o'clock, had my cigarettes and my cup of tea, went out at 7 o'clock and fed my chickens, came back in, went on Team 9:48, my brother called me. Okay.
9:48. 9:48, her brother calls. What? She's Malaya says they see the kids or something between, they tell the dispatch or the emergency people 8 o'clock. They tell Belinda between 8 and 8:30. Right. So, and it's 9:48 the brother calls. At 10:01 is when the 911 call happens, and they're like at 10, I forget what it. Did she say 9:48 or 8:48 here? I don't clue. Let's see here.
To save everybody trouble, he went out at 7 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, had my cigarettes and my cup of tea, went out at 7 o'clock and fed my chickens, came back in, went on Team 9:48, my brother called me. Okay.
She says 9:48, her brother. Was it 9:48 or 8:48? I can't remember if she had my cigarettes. Had my cigarettes, darling. You know, my name's Janie. I had my cigarettes, and then I fed the chickens. Took my dog out. He needed some oxygen. He was cooped up in that little camper. I tell you, it was terrible. Fuck me, I tell you. I don't know why they want this fucking interview to begin with, you know. Fuck them. It was 8:48, wasn't it? It's 8:48.
To save everybody trouble, here is what happened at the end of my driveway. The altercation. My brother, me and Justin were out on the four-wheeler. We were up at the pipeline. We were coming out at the road called the Madison Road. Malaya called me on my phone.
Where's Madison Road? Where's Madison Road? Her name is totally Madison, which is my grandma's stripper name. Sounds like a stripper name. Matheson. Oh. Daniel was lighting it up on the road. Yeah, that's what he was doing. Yes, that's the pipeline where the footprints were found and the blanket. Both.
She called me at 3:32. I didn't answer because we were talking to a lady on her four-wheeler with a child. Then she called me back at 5:39. I answered the phone. She told me to get back here to the trailer. I said, "What's up?" She said, "I can't tell you over the phone."
Hold on. Let's go back to this.
Four-wheeler with a child. Then she called her because of the pipeline. We were coming out at the road called the Madison Road. Malaya called me on my phone. She called me at 3:32. I didn't answer because we were talking to a lady on her four-wheeler with a child. Then she called me back at 5:39. I answered the phone. She told me to get back here to the trailer. I said, "What's up?" She said, "I can't tell you over the phone." So I came back here. Me and Justin came back here to the trailer. Marlea was standing on the edge of the driveway, crying her eyes out. I went up and I put my arms around her and said, "Please don't tell me that they found the kids dead." Haley started shooting off about something, and then
you remember Daniel was complaining in that article about kids being allowed to search in the area. Janie is saying that she's talking to a mother with the kid on the four-wheeler. Or I guess maybe on their four-wheeler. Daniel takes little parts of something that may or may not have happened, and he perverts it into how he can bitch about something. Unbelievable, Daniel.
I think it was Shelby. I'm not 100% sure. She started shooting off. I ordered them off my property. The police or the RCMP came and asked me what was going on, if there was a fight. I said there was no fight. I just ordered them off my property. He took me aside. He has it all video cammed. He took me aside and asked me what happened. I said, Malaya, exactly the same thing. Malaya called me. I came back here to the trailer. I thought the kids were dead. Then Haley and this other girl, I think it was Shelby, I can't be 100% right, started shooting off. I told him to get off my property. He asked me what the altercation was about. I said I didn't know. I didn't listen to them. I wasn't fighting with anybody.
I said they got the wrong carton of cigarettes. Do you know how much cigarettes are in Canada? Do you know how much cigarettes are in Canada? Oh, thank you for sending me this. Okay. My God. Cigarettes are like $20 a pack. $21 a pack. That's stupid. Crazy.
I told him that the most important thing was to find Lily and Jack. He agreed with me. I did not order Maria off the property. She was more than welcome to stay here. Her grandmother was even here, and her grandmother was going to stay the night. And I said, that is fine. Cindy is more than welcome to stay here. So I did not order Malaya off the property. What went on after they left, after the police left, and after they went to this briefing, I do not know what happened. I stayed here. I stayed here, and me and Justin went back out on the bike. So whatever happened after Haley and this other girl left, I don't know what happened. I was away with Justin on the bike. So you have to get all your information.
That's, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised Janie didn't have a better relationship with Malaya now. I'm surprised she didn't want that discount. The cigarette discount that you get on the tribe lands. I thought they would be tight. Apparently not. I don't even know how they're here. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. She can get them. Can you go there and get them? Cigs are $15. The way Janie says, my cigarettes. I'm going to clip that. Hi. Who says having a YouTube channel makes you feel old? I'm 16 and I feel great. $40 street for a carton.
Information from Daniel and Malaya about.
Can you imagine, Janie? Can you imagine her graduating and accepting her diploma? I would like to thank the principal. She's 17 years old or 18. I'd like to thank the principal for being the best principal ever. When he caught me smoking in the bathroom, he said, girl, give up the cigarettes. And I just laughed. That's all. That's all. So, Mr. Dillard, thank you so much for not kicking me out. Really do appreciate you. Hey, Jane. Good to see you. Thank you, Justin, for fighting for Jack and Lily. Told you I wasn't going to stop, didn't I, Jane? My heart, imagine how scared those poor babies was. I know. I cry when I think what could have happened. RCMP have let the children down. Yeah, they need to pick it up and reverse it is what they need to do. I sound like Bart Simpson's auntie. Yeah, I do.
That because I do not know. And I'm going to clear up this thing about Belinda. Belinda said that she came and she said that I was crying and I blame myself for it. And this is the time that I wouldn't let the police in, said that I wouldn't let the police in my RV. Well, the reason why I was.
You see, she caught herself there. And this is the time I wouldn't let the police in. Said that I wouldn't let my police in the RV. Janie. Come on.
Crying, Belinda, is I blame myself for not getting up that morning and seeing the kids. Because whenever they're outside, I'm usually out there. I'm the one watching those kids. I watch those kids out in the yard every day. That's why I blame myself for not getting up.
But this is the thing. Why would Janie, she didn't know that they weren't going to school, right? She didn't know.
Up that day. If I would have got up, this would have never happened.
So that's why I was crying that day, Belinda, is because I blamed myself for not getting up for those kids.
I feel like something, when she talks about this, it always triggers her. It always triggers her. And I do feel like she feels like if she would have went over there or did something prior, in my opinion, Daniel wouldn't have, or whatever wouldn't have happened to Jack and Lily. Yes. Yeah. Where is that? Oh. Yeah. Need to fix that. There we go. We'll fix it like that. I'm so glad. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here, my dear.
I'll tell you something else, and I don't care if you believe me or not. I would never, ever, ever let anything happen to those kids. I watched them for 2 years. I seen them day in and day out. What went on between Malay and Daniel has nothing to do with me. I live here in the camper. They live in the trailer. What went on in there is none of my business. And when you have to call your kids, or Jack and Lily's mother, and tell them that Jack has his boots off and Jack has his coats off, does that tell you that Malaya was watching the kids? So don't come down on me because they weren't my grandchildren, but that I do, and I do consider them my grandchildren. I don't care what anybody says. When
No,
they came into my life,
no, you don't. She did not consider them her grandkids. No, she didn't. She did not consider these kids her grandkids. I don't believe it for a second. Not for a second. She didn't like Malaya. She didn't like the way Lily screamed. She says it. Thank you, Crazy Buck. How did Malaya call Janie when Janie said she didn't take her phone searching? Good point. Very good point. Yeah. Oh, but she did, according to Janie's phone. What do you mean, Sassy? Gee, thank you, everyone, for the kind replies. You make me laugh. Oh, it's very sweet. Always late. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's a good question to ask, Miss Janie. I just don't understand this at all. I never will. My children, my grandbabies are my everything. I don't think I'd be able to take another breath without any of them. Yeah. That's a good question. And I agree.
became part of my family. So if people doubt that, then they don't think very much of me because I'm not that kind of a person. It really bothers.
Oh my God. She sounds like fucking Eeyore right now from Winnie the Pooh. That they don't think nothing of me. Who fucking who? You think Justin was crying because you were crying? Miss Janie? No.
Me because I've been a grandmother for 9.5 years. In the last 2 months, I can't be a grandmother anymore. I'm not a grandmother. My oldest granddaughter's birthday was on the 25th of this month, and I couldn't even see her, all because of what happened. And I had nothing to do with it. But I am the one that is suffering. So is Jack and Lily. They don't know where they are. They don't know what's going on.
All because of what happened. And I had nothing to do with it. Who had something to do with it, though? Janie, tell us who had something to do with it. Who was it that had something to do with it then, Janie? Sounds like you know. Thank you, Darcy.
Meadow doesn't know what's going on, and my other two grandchildren don't know what's going on. I watched my oldest two grandchildren playing with those kids for the last 2 years, and now they don't even know what's happening. They don't know what happened to Jack and Lily. They don't know where they are. It's not about me. I'm worried about my grandchildren. What impact this is having on them. I can recover from this. It's going to take me a long time. But just think what the impact has on my grandchildren and Jack and Lily. How much it's hurting them. And I begged Malaya to come out and tell her side of the story. And she's the only one that can answer the questions that we can't. I begged her to come out and talk for the sake of the grandchildren, for the sake of her children.
I'm going to give an opinion on here, and this is my opinion and my opinion only. I think Sunny should watch what she says about people. She has very, very bad accusations about people, and I do not like it. The reason I am on Facebook.
Why? Because she doesn't buy your BS? Is that why? Oh, joyous. Thank you, boo-boos. Thank you, darling. I think you can make joyous. So good to me. Thank you, baby. Appreciate you so very, very much. If you received one of those, make sure you thank our beautiful Joyous for gifting us 10 new pearls. Thank you, darling. So kind. She is such a kind and faithful follower too, Gia. Yes, she very much is. I don't think that Janie and Daniel like anyone that questions their BS.
Is because I will not go on her because she has her opinion, yes, but her accusations
My battery just exhausted, it said.
towards people is terrible. And I don't like the way she nags Daniel all the time to come on and defend himself. That is up to Daniel to do that, not her antagonizing and antagonize him to do it. And I do not go on any otherbody's show. I went on Facebook there a while ago, and I tried to explain to people, give people timelines, and they just screwed it all up. So I went off there, and that was my.
Do you see how rageful she just got? She went from Barbie to, and this is the way that it is, mother chicken.
My opinion about Brenda, just like everybody else has opinions. So if everybody took it the wrong way, I'm sorry. I will say Dara did get some things wrong with what I said, but in my interview and on here, I am correcting what he said about events. I am telling my truth.
That's what I said. Her reading the grandbabies a bedtime story or singing a lullaby. Rockabye baby on the treetop. When the bound bros. Hold on, honey. I gotta flick my ash. 1 second. The cradle will rock.
About my side of what happened. On May 1st, nobody was here. On May 2nd, when Jack and Lily disappeared, the people that stayed here on May 2nd was Malaya's two great aunts.
Thank you, Darlene. 1 month.
And Malaya's grandmother stayed the night. On that Friday, May 2nd, the ones that were in the trailer, which was a family reunion, was Malaya's mother, Cindy, Malaya's grandmother, Patty, Malaya's aunt, I don't know her name, I never met her, Malaya's two great aunts, I never met them, and Cindy's boyfriend.
And you couldn't stand it. You couldn't stand it, could you, lady?
We're all in the big trailer, eating, drinking coffee. I don't believe any of them went out searching on that Saturday after everybody left, after the altercation at the end of the.
Thank you, Darlene. Thank you, darling. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, baby. Good to see you. Thank you so much, honey. Crocodile tears. Yep. Children don't disappear. Well, not only that, 2 children don't just disappear. I mean, a 4-year-old in a diaper and boots. I hope 73 TWK. I hope. Thank you so much again, Darlene. So they're just chilling in a possible crime scene. Right. Exactly. And that's a big screw up at the RCMP.
The driveway, everybody left except Malaya's grandmother Patty was here and she was going to stay the night. But I think it was Corey, Haley's boyfriend, came and took her. She did not want to leave, but Corey came and took her and they all left. There was nobody here after that when everybody left on Saturday evening. The reason why I know who was all in the kitchen on Friday night was I went in to tell Malaya that me, Justin, and myself were going back out on the bike to search for Jack and Lily. Malaya was sitting on the couch on her phone with Meadow on her chest. And the only thing that Meadow said to me was, Janie, do you want me to shut your chickens in for you? And I said my chickens were the least of my worries. I was more worried about going out looking for Jack and Lily. And I also want to say,
my chickens were the last of my worries. I had to go to the store. I had to have my brother go get cigarettes. Why does that piss her off? She did not want the family there. It's just, in my opinion. That's just it.
say the day that I was crying, that Belinda showed up, Malaya came out and put her head on my shoulder, which it should have been the other way around. And yes, Justin did cry because I was crying. And Justin felt bad for me because I was blaming myself for not getting up and checking on Jack and Lily. The reason that's
you felt bad for not checking up on. Now, she says she always checks up on Jack and Lily when they're outside, but just didn't do it this morning. So they let the kids out unsupervised. Janie's chickens lay deviled eggs. Yes.
That's the reason why Justin was crying, because he was crying because I was crying. And he was also crying because he was upset about Jack and Lily disappearing. When she wanted the car, she would drive Daniel to work.
She is no. I do not believe that is why Justin was crying. I don't. I really don't. At all. She's lying, in my opinion. I think Justin might have helped Daniel. Daniel, you know. Daniel. That Daniel right there. Right there. Guys, I have to fix my camera. I'm going to come back in just a few minutes from now. I got to swap it out. My battery exhausted. I hate not having my camera on. I feel like I'm cheating you or something. I don't know. But I will be back in just a few minutes. I'm going to go grab a cup of coffee. Okay. Because this is the part right here where I really want to start talking about that day when all of this was going on. I'll be, damn, Daniel. Damn, Daniel. I'll be back in just a few minutes. Come back and we will hear Janie, in my opinion, lie, and I'll read you bedtime stories. I'll read you bedtime stories, okay? So make sure you come back. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs. They didn't know what to do. Okay? You hear it, kids? You hear it? All right. So Janie will be back in just a few minutes. When mama smokes, baby chokes. Got it? Don't smoke while you're pregnant. It's not good. Bring me a tea, please. You got it, girlfriend. You got it. I'll be back. Much love.